Hello and welcome to another Green Octahedron edition. My name is Andreas. So tonight we will be discussing something slightly different, and I trust that you will enjoy this version of the Green Octahedron edition. So what we're going to do is, see, I had to do it again, hey, quickly, in reverse. So I'm discussing a book called Gingi Explains the Mole. Now, the mole can be a very complicated subject for many people, but I believe that it's not necessary for it to be that complicated. So anyone who has a passing interest in chemistry or an interest in passing chemistry, let them come and have a look at this video clip, and I assure you they will learn something. So what's my intention? I wish to sell myself. I wish to sell the product, which is an Amazon paperback or a ebook of Gingi Explains the Mole, and then the idea is the mole. So I can teach, I understand chemistry, and I would love to instill the love for science. So what is the product? Again, it's Gingi Explains the Mole. And you'll meet Gingi. Don't worry, just hold on a moment. So the idea that I wish to sell is the mole. So let's go and find Gingi. Yes, let's meet your teacher. That's Gingi. Hello, Gingi. Welcome, Gingi. So let's meet the team. Gingi doesn't work on his own. Gingi has a friend called the gingerbread, non-googly eyes, gumdrop buttons, and then, of course, we have Gingi. So now, question, how many non-googly eyes does Gingi have? Yeah, okay, so how many gumdrop buttons does Gingi have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and how many gingerbreads does Gingi have? Well, the answer is clear. 2 non-googly eyes, 4 gumdrop buttons, and 1 gingerbread. And then you can go through those options, and the key principle is that however many you have determines how many gingers you can make. Okay, and in this case, you can only make 1, a whole number of Gingi, or 2 or 3. You can't make 1.5 Gingis. That wouldn't look nice. And I want to remain child-friendly, you know. Then you can go to something that, like a dozen. So what is a dozen? A dozen is 12 of something. So when I have 12 of something, I have 1 dozen of something. Now I can have half a dozen as well. Let's bear that in mind. So 1 dozen non-googly eyes. Right, there you go. You have 12 non-googly eyes. And if I have 2 dozen Gingis, that means that I have 24 Gingis. But how many Gingis are there in half a dozen? So half a dozen, half times 12 is 6. Yes, I can have 6 Gingis. Right? And how many dozens of Gingis are 9 Gingis? Well, that's 0.75 Gingis. So if I have 2 dozen googly eyes, non-googly eyes, and I have 4 dozen gumdrop buttons, and I have 1 dozen gingerbreads, how many Gingis can I make? Well, that's easy. That's the same, eh? It's just 1 dozen, not just 1 anymore. But that I'll leave to the, as they say in the maths textbooks, I'll leave that to the student as an elementary exercise. And 5 hours later, you'll still be annoyed with me. So what is a mole? A mole is a very, 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 very large number used by chemists to describe how many atoms or molecules or anything else there is. So it's actually 6,022 times 10 to the power 23. And if you write it out, it looks like that very big number. So 1 mole of non-googly eyes is that long number. Okay, so notice that we talk about mole, and then when we talk about the units of a mole, it's called MOL without the E, drop the E. And then, you see, you can even have a mole of moles, which is which makes for a large amount of holes in your garden. Okay, now you can play around with some moles, but now we switch to molecules. We move away from Gingi and we meet Gingi's cousin, sulphuric acid. Now, sulphuric acid has one little yellow button, some white buttons, 2 of them, and oxygens or blue buttons, and then you get sulphuric acid. Okay, so and then the same principles apply. So how many? So let's go back. So you have 2 moles of hydrogen in 1 mole of sulphuric acid, 4 moles of oxygen in 1 mole of sulphuric acid, and 1 mole of sulfur in 1 mole of sulphuric acid. You see, that big component, sulphuric acid or Gingi, has smaller components like non-googly eyes or white atoms that we call hydrogen atom. In this case, it's just a color that I chose. Okay. Right. And then from there, you can go through exactly the same steps, and then you end up with something that's a bit more scientific. So now the chemistry can begin. Now you can know that the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 gram per mole. Oxygen, 16 grams per mole. Sulfur is 32 grams per mole. And then in that way you can calculate. There's a difficult table for you to complete. So 98 grams of sulphuric acid is 1 mole. 2 grams of hydrogen is 1 mole. 32 grams of oxygen is 1 mole. 32 grams of sulfur, 8. Oh boy, here's 1 over 8 moles or 0.125 moles. So sulphuric acid is very important, but also very dangerous. So I hope you have enjoyed Gingi's explanation of the mole, and I hope you now understand the mole better as well. And you're welcome to find more of my books. Andreas Landman is the author on Amazon.com. Thank you very much.